Hey guys, and welcome back to the first overnight stay vlog of the Premier League season as Newcastle go down to Manchester to take on the champions Manchester City. I can't wait for this game. We're going to go down and go to the UK's worst hotel so you guys don't have to. But first off from me, welcome back. If you're new around here and you like what you're watching, make sure you get down and hit that subscribe button. The Manchester City vlog will come out tomorrow. You do not want to miss it. Got reactions from the games, how's the away system going to work for this match. There's plenty to get into. Well, first, before we head down to Manchester, I have something I need to do first.
Start to flatten out, you don't want to have your hands in front of your face. Because at the very end, when you come to a stop, if your hands are still in front of your face, they will hit you in the face. So as you get towards the end of the boats, take your hands off, put them across your chest, and just fall asleep. Okay? Put your head up against one of your shoulders. At the very end, there's some big blue mats. There's a man, very nice man, holding his hand out to you. Take hold of his hand. If you don't take hold of his hand, you will bounce off and start coming back again. Okay? At which point it all starts to slow down a bit.
As you can see behind me, guys, we are going to zip line up the Tyne Bridge today. I'm not going to lie, I am wicked at it. We're going to get it over and done with, and then afterwards we're going to get in the train down to Manchester. Lewis Hall, this one is for you. Well, that was good. I enjoyed that quite a lot actually. It was quite scary at the top. I literally told the guy, I'm not jumping, just push me. And yeah, never thought I'd be ziplining off the Tyne Bridge today, but listen, I had an opportunity to come down. It was great to come down. You can see over there how fun it can actually be. It actually opened today as well for the public, so it was classed as media for a zipline, so I came down here. Good opportunity to try and promote anyone as well, and well, that was some experience. Definitely would recommend if you get a chance to do it.
Okay, so Chris here from Northeast Updates YouTube channel.
Me and you will both just be on the zip line there. Just tell me about your experience and how great it was being invited down as media as well.
Yeah, so firstly, it's done by Jelly Legs as well, so it is open to the public for the next 3 weeks. If you want to get your tickets and stuff like that, you can. It's with anyone as well, in partnership. We work closely with them. Absolutely out of this world experience. You probably see at the back of us. It's all right when you're down here looking up, you think, oh, it's not so bad. Trust me, when you get up to the top and you look down, it is a whole different experience. You need that little push to get you off. I highly recommend it to anyone who's thinking about doing it.
Well, a joke that someone up there made to me actually is that I'm going down the Newcastle top like Newcastle won the league. I mean, a few years ago that would have worked, but the case now, Newcastle, we are going anywhere but down. We are going up. The sky is the limit. I think might be a good terminology use when going on that zip line. We are playing Manchester City, and what is a huge game of football for both sides. How are we thinking for this game?
A lot more confident after last week's result against Aston Villa. I think this is really the acid test to show how far we can go this season. We haven't got the distraction of Champions League or anything yet. They've got Kevin De Bruyne injury. That's, other than Haaland, that's probably the injury you would want if you're thinking of it that sort of way. The door's half open for us to get some sort of result. I think we go there, we'll attack the way that we always do. It's winnable. I would say normally, if you'd asked us this any other day of the year, I would have said we'll get absolutely hammered by them, if I'm being totally honest. But the De Bruyne injury for me does change it a lot. I think Newcastle will be on a high from the 5-1, so hopefully 3 points, but I can realistically see this being a 1-1 draw. I think both teams will score. It'll be a very attacking match. It'll be great for the neutral as well.
As you can see behind me, we have now arrived in Manchester, and I have to say straight away, this train station, Victoria, is one of the nicest ones I've actually been inside. In the background, I have an ongoing tram system inside the station, and there's also an arena in here as well. So compared to Newcastle's train station, I definitely think this one's better. 2.5 hours or so on the train. Now normally when I do the overnight stay vlogs, there's always something to talk about on the train, some shenanigans going on. Thankfully today it was smooth as butter. I had no issues whatsoever. The train strikes, thankfully they're not on this weekend, or at least to my knowledge they're fine to the Manchester area. I'm going to check into my hotel now. I'm going to leave my bag there. I'm going to show you around the city first, and afterwards I'm going to show you the hotel room. We are staying once again in a Britannia. Nothing can be worse than the motel, so I'm here now to test the UK's worst hotels, the worst hotel chain. Let's find out. One personal thing that I always love doing when I actually come down to Manchester is to go inside the Arndale. It is huge in here, so let me tell you some of the things you can actually see inside. Quite literally, as soon as we walk in, so on the right hand side is loads of different markets, continental foods, all sorts of different street restaurants in there. Haven't been any actually, but some of them look really nice, so it's a good opportunity for to try different foods out. On the left hand side here is more just regular shops, continental shops. You can see there's the Asia crafts there, all sorts of different bits and bobs to do. And even as you walk down, quite literally as I'm just walking down in one fluid take in this video here, on the right hand side is Gold Star now. Unfortunately it's closed now, but it's actually an unbelievable memorabilia shop. Or even on the windows you can see Messi boots, Ronaldo boots that are signed. You've got Pele tops, you've got the Rock belt signed. Some of them look so nice. So definitely someone that I like coming in to have a look when I'm down here. You guys know me on social media, you'll be fully aware that I'm trying to collect all sorts of Newcastle United related at the minute. So it's definitely somewhere I'm going to pop into tomorrow. So on the left hand side here we've got all sorts of different restaurants and places to go. We've got Five Guys, Slim Chickens and Nando's next to each other. I mean, that's a serious trail, to be fair. And even as we continue to walk further along now, down here it's just all the different shops. You've got so many shops here. It's just like the Metro Centre, but in my personal opinion it's just better. I prefer coming here. I think it's great. Manchester City store over there. Newcastle, to be fair, in the Metro Centre has its own football shop, but that one looks impressive with the TV on there, Bernardo Silva scoring there. But honestly, the Arndale is definitely a recommendation for me if you guys get a chance to come down here. As you can see behind me, we are currently in the streets of Manchester. After having a look around before, I think it's now time to go to my hotel. As I always mention with Britannia hotel rooms, I actually talk about the hallways. The reason being that I went to one in Coventry, it stunk of weed. Honestly, I must have been high by the time I got to the room. It was ridiculous and so blatantly obvious as well. But Britannia is actually the worst rated hotel chain in the UK, a company which I personally believe hasn't got much longer left in it. But in Manchester, does it have one last stand? It's time to find out. Let's go to one of the cheapest hotels in Manchester so you guys don't have to. It's now time to check out the first hotel of the 2023-24 Premier League campaign. Let's get inside there, shall we? You can see straight away towards the bottom of the Britannia room, there is no windows. Well, there is a window actually, but it's a painting. Lovely drawing though. As for my lights up here, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 lights in this room. 2 of them work, so we have a 40% ratio. Bit higher than I thought it was going to be honest, so at least we've got 2 of them working. We begin off with the wardrobe over here. I mean, what the hell is this? It feels like I'm going to Narnia if I open this door. But let's see what's inside though. Ooh. So we've got a couple of extra blankets there, spare towels. There's a fan down here, so we don't have air conditioning in the room. Now in the UK, it's not actually so much of an issue because, well, it's hot about 5 days of the year. So there's not too much of an issue, but definitely when we're going abroad, this is going to be key in my review. It has to have air conditioning. Places like Spain, Italy, this has to be done. As we head further down now, this, to be fair, is a first for me. So they've actually got a little letter here. So pretty much for guests inside the hotel, if someone's wrong with the room, you can actually write a little complaint letter here. A nice touch, even if they don't do anything about it. It's just I guess the assumption that they would actually do something. It's just the impression that they would change your room up. So that's fair enough. Fair play to Britannia on that. Head over there. So as you can see, we've got a kettle down there, or coffee. I never ever drink coffee, so it's not really a concern for me personally, but it's there for those who need it. Little chair down here in the corner where I can sit there like a sad loner. I mean, that chair has seen better days, hasn't it? It's not the greatest looking one. We will do the bed test check shortly and the UV light check, so we've got both of them to do. My TV up here, I mean, pretty slanted. I've got to like tilt my head sideways when I'm watching the TV later, so that's not ideal. But finally, before we do the bed test checks themselves, let's check out the bathroom. You can see in the door there, massive security warning. It's not the greatest thing to see, but obviously it has to be done. Head over there. I mean, bathroom is quite spacious actually. For the majority of Britannia hotels I've been in, it's always been quite dirty or not the greatest. But this bathroom actually seems alright. Shower heads there. The bath look clean for the most part. Now the thing is, no matter which hotel it's going to be, any hotel after that motel is just going to be better. It's naturally going to be better. So even if you guys watch this thing, this room's pretty bad. Trust me, I've stayed in a lot of Britannia hotels. I know for a fact that the one in Bournemouth and the one in Coventry were way worse than this one. The Liverpool one was decent. This one, believe it or not, is actually probably the best Britannia room I've stayed in. Honestly, it's not actually that bad. I bought this at like midnight, 12 hours ago or something. I bought this. Honestly, it's for the price I paid, it's actually pretty decent, so fair enough. As for the motel though, I didn't actually mention this in the video at the time, but I paid a lot of money for that room, which is one of the main reasons why I was so angry. And it was disgusting as well, don't get me wrong, the door lock didn't even work, that was the main concern. I had fear that someone was going to break into the room half the time. But thankfully though, we're not in that situation anymore. The UK hotels, I don't think are ever going to get that bad, to be honest. Abroad though, Champions League, that is when it gets real. I'm telling you now, some of the places we're going to go to, it's going to be scary. But listen, we'll get it over and done with. Let's check out the beds now and let's see if there's anything we might discover. Quick heads up, if you are eating any food, don't. Okay, let's have a look. So we'll begin with this one down here. And after checking it before off camera, I have to say, it's more or less spotless. It's a clean bed. I don't believe it. What a miracle this is. It's a bed that I'm going to be sleeping in tonight and knowing that there's no stains or little secrets hiding underneath. But what about this one over here? Now let's have a look. And after my little analysis before, this is the sort of thing that worries me with his UV light. When he spots splatters like this in the bed. Now, without trying to go into detail for the children watching, I'm pretty sure that is what I think it is. So, yeah, we're definitely not going to sleep in that one tonight. Thankfully, though, this bed is clean, so we've got 1 bed out of 2 correct. And for me, I'm actually now going to start booking single beds because, well, there's less chance of people doing stuff in the single beds, and there's also double a chance of actually getting a clean bed. So, yeah, a bit of a tip for you guys who are going to be booking any terrible hotel rooms. Well, after my check before, there is now only 1 bed I will be sleeping in tonight. So I'm hoping this bed test check will pass my standards. Let's check it out. Oh no. Hey, let's go. I mean, it's what you expect of Britannia room. I will always say this about every single hotel I've stayed at. The mattresses are terrible. You sleep hard, you wake up, you feel like crap. They're not good to sleep in. Honestly, I can't recommend the beds ever in the Britannias. They always have terrible mattresses. Please just try and get some better ones. But before we finish things off, I think it's best now to talk for the Manchester City game, actually build up the match tomorrow before we set off for the game. I can't wait. This is one where I feel like I will definitely show Newcastle where we actually are now. I know it's quite early in the season, but I think for Newcastle, it's important to get the points before the Champions League season starts. Once those Champions League matches begin, then I think it's going to be hard. We've got to play more matches. You're playing abroad during the week. Players are inexperienced in the Champions League. We've never experienced something like this before. It's a lot to take on board. And for us as a club, it's good for us now to get the points while it's early. City away is a hard game, but for the first time ever, I'm going to this ground with the belief that we can actually win the game. I think we can stand toe-to-toe with the best in world football, and that's just due to what Eddie Howe's done with this squad. That's due to the squad we have, and that's due to the ownership putting the money into the squad, the time and the effort. And I think, well, for City, this will not be an easy game. I think City fans are looking tomorrow. They'll be eager to be excited, but they'll be a bit concerned because Newcastle is a serious team which they have to overcome. But I want to talk about the away ticketing system as well because, well, that's going to be interesting to see firsthand tomorrow. So Newcastle United are now making sure that every ticket into the ground is legitimate. Nobody's passing tickets on. And after the warnings they put out in social media, let's see, is it a scare tactic or are they actually going to go full force tomorrow and make sure everyone has a valid ticket? Ooh, interesting. But for some reason, the outcry in social media, I mean, this guy, for example, is comparing ticket touting to Newcastle fans giving tickets away to terrorists. I mean, bit of a reach there. I don't think there's any terrorists attending Bournemouth versus Newcastle in the away section, not gonna lie. And I'm pretty sure security outside the ground checks everyone anyway, so I don't know how that's even a point. But the point Newcastle are making is that they want to make sure that loyalty points are going to the fans that actually have the loyalty points. So ballot systems going to the fans who actually earned it. It's not just people that are selling the tickets on and what Newcastle would class as exploiting the system. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes tomorrow. I can't wait for the game regardless, so it's going to be a class one. Let me know your opinions down below, guys. I wish you all the best. Tomorrow, we take the fight to Manchester City. Bring it on.